I mean, even in those points where I agree those beads of sweat were forming in the second half, people were panicking. The thought that went through my mind is we got number 5.
Pop, what's going on, man?
That was awesome.
Feels good to be back, baby. Feels good to be back. Guys, thank God. Commanders win at home 42-19. Go up 8-5 before the bye week. Just, the next thing on our list here is reaction. I'm just going to remind you guys real quick. If you enjoyed that game today and you're tuning in for the analysis and that subscribe button is not already smashed, make sure you hit that. But if you're still on the fence, hang around for a few minutes. I promise you'll want to stick in and hit that subscribe button. But man, God, that feels good. God, that feels good. That's my reaction. We needed that. You would have taken a win. If you win that game by 3 points, we would have got on here and we would have said, good to be back in the W column, showed a lot of grit. But F that. We blew them out. It was never a football game from the first snap. And even when you started, right when that first bead of sweat started to matriculate on the eyebrow there in the second half, you go down the field, you score a touchdown, you put everything to bed. We're going to need to draft a kicker all 7 rounds next draft. But other than that, it was a phenomenal day. Jaden Daniels I think this was his best game as a pro for this team. Just fantastic today. Offensive line looked great. Brian Robinson looked unbelievable. Just a heck of a day, man. This is exactly what we needed. And now we are 8-5 going into the bye week. We're a game, 2 games back, game and a half back from the division. The world is in front of us, man. Feels good. This is a season resetting type of victory, in my opinion. Pop, I've talked for 2 minutes. Let the people have it. How you feeling?
I'm not sure about your math there. We'll give it back into that for the division, but just what the doctor ordered would be my reaction, right? I mean, it was a get right game across the board, especially offensively. It was such great, to see the offense back putting up 40 plus points. I'm almost more impressed by the 2 touchdown drives in the second half to really seal the deal than the 4, to start the game. But that's what you need to do against a bad team. It was great. If I was going to nitpick it all, I don't like kind of how easily the Titans scored on their 3 scoring drives, but
yeah, got to put the hand up on that game and a half back there. I didn't know Philly was 9-2. I thought they were 9-3.
It's gonna say.
Got to put my hand up on that.
You threw me for a loop. I wanted to focus on my reaction and not get locked in there, but yeah, I don't.
Not a math podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we're even with a loss today. We're 2 solid games back in the in the loss column. If the Eagles lose, but
even if
anyway,
loses.
I mean, I like the optimism. Certainly in great shape for the wild card slot. After this win, Cardinals lose a tight one, a really good finish by the Vikings. Thank goodness to pull that one out. So good day all around. We'll see how the afternoon games go, but like I said, just what the doctor ordered would be my reaction there. Just tons of fun and shows that we're a good football team. We had our doubts after last week, but I think it was just one of those duds that you lay after 2 tough weeks.
Yeah.
Forget that. Let's focus on this 42-19 win.
Yeah, this is what you needed, and you needed to do it this way. Just put everything to bed. I mean, 463 total yards of offense, 267 yards on the ground.
Against a very good defense. Against a very good defense that you could see that team was competing, the Titans, right? And that's where, like you said, the beads of sweat were there because the momentum was turning and they just never stopped competing. And Will Levis impressed me. We can get into that in a little bit, but he impressed me in many ways.
Yeah, and
Call me crazy, but
You had Levis seeing ghosts by the end of the game. I mean, he threw a few darts at the beginning, but you just had him absolutely in the blender.
he wasn't
By
getting
the
a
end
lot
of
of
that
help from his
thing
teammates.
with the
But
pressure,
anyway,
and yeah, his receivers were dropping balls, and we know that story over here. But really good at both sides of the ball today. Special teams was great as well, minus the kicker. Um, but man, it was just a fast start. I mean, he just came out of things on fire. 28-0 to start the game, 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. It's just it couldn't have been more perfect. And the defense came out and looked completely energized and just lit up. And makes that first stop. And then I'm sitting there going, just do literally anything offensively. Anything. Please. We've seen this for so many weeks. And then you get that Brian Robinson breakaway touchdown. And you just go, hallelujah. I mean, I lost my mind when he scored that touchdown. You want to talk about the big knock on Robinson is the breakaway speed. He looked plenty fast there, got to the second level, scored the touchdown, might still be running if the end zone line wasn't there. Just phenomenal play by B-Rob on that 40-yard touchdown run. I think Pop and I were going back and forth. I don't know if that's a career-long touchdown run for him, but it's got to be up there.
got to be up there. Yep.
Heck of a run by him, and that just lit the game on fire. And then you go out, you get another stop immediately, score a touchdown, and then I think it was fumble on the kickoff, scored a touchdown again. Then they fumbled again, and you kicked the field goal, but it was just so good. Or excuse me, it was another touchdown after that. Just so good in the first half. I mean, Jaden Daniels himself, I think, only had 5 less total yards than the entire Titans offense. Just fantastic. Just a great football game.
Yeah, no, it's excellent performance. The if you're a little nervous about what we saw today, especially against better teams, it was. I don't have any complaints on offense. I mean, yeah, of course, it slowed down. I feel like we lost a little bit of our edge in terms of execution, and that's just because we got such a big lead and felt like things were coming so easy that I think they lost a little bit of their, focus. But that's why I said I think those 2 touchdowns in the second half were so impressive to me because those came when you really needed to have them. And then, I mean, the running game, the offensive line, the way they dominated, like I said, which was a really good defense on the other side of the ball. That was great to see. It was great to see that running game come back and the O-line dominate. And Luke looked pretty good on that right tackle spot. I mean, those 5 guys really executed. And they got a little nasty again today, which was good to see.
Yeah.
You see Sam Cosmi mixing it up and getting a little nasty. And Brian Robinson was fantastic. But what about Chris Rodriguez? I mean,
Fantastic
the luxury
well.
of being able to sit Brian for most of the second half with Rodriguez balling. I mean, come on. Can we lock this guy up for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? He's so valuable as a another Brian Robinson type, and the way that he carries defenders when he rushes the ball is just terrific. He was excellent.
13 for 94 and a touchdown, pretty much all in the second half. Phenomenal. I mean, I think his yards for carry is higher than Robinson's was today.
Yep.
And he looks the part, man. We've been big Chris Rodriguez fans on this program. We've been yelling about more Chris Rodriguez. I told the story to my girlfriend while we were watching the game. I said he's basically, they cut Forbes essentially, which, breaking news, Emmanuel Forbes cut. Who cares? They cut Forbes, and essentially that makes the roster spot permanent for Rodriguez there, with Eckler being out now, and then also got Tyler Owens up on the roster as well. And you see it right away. I mean, big play by Tyler Owens, stripping that football out, kind of getting his hand in there with the bobbled kickoff. And then Chris Rodriguez just fantastic today. I mean, I can't give the kid enough credit, and the amount of heart and grit that he runs with on the field is reflective of who he is as a man. And I can tell you that because he's interviewing with Mitch Tischler at the beginning of the year. I remember talking about, we're dealing with, I'm just really trying to get my special teams game up so I can get a roster spot. And Mitch goes, oh, so they got you returning the ball? And he goes, no, just blocking and tackling.
Right.
And for him to have that kind of attitude and then, 15, 16 short weeks later, turn around after training camp, turn around and go 13 for 94 and a touchdown and help the team seal the game at the end is just, and you've seen him do it 2 seasons in a row now. For whatever reason, he gets overlooked in training camp or coaches get googly eyed for their guys or whatever. Obviously Robinson's a great back. He's without a doubt the number one. But I see no reason for Rodriguez, especially with Eckler on IR, to not be number 2 and to not be a big part of this offense going forward.
And McNichols looked good too. I mean, I think that offensive line has to get probably most of the credit, right? When you got
definitely
3 different backs that performed at that level, the one common denominator is that offensive line. And we tend to forget them helmet sticker wise, but maybe we hand out 5 of them today. Just boom, 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 boom. That offensive line, because I think they I don't know. It's hard with offensive line to see who played well until kind of like PFF grades come out. But that was an excellent performance by the O-line without a doubt.
Yeah. Lucas specifically, I thought Lucas played very, very well. I thought Coleman played well. Coleman is so good on the edges in that run game. And Lucas's get off looked really fast today. He's like, it were a few times I thought it almost looked like he false started, but he just was getting back so quickly in pass pro on that snap count, which is something I haven't seen from Wiley this year. And I didn't think, look, I'll be the first to say it, I didn't think I was going to be getting on here talking about Cornelius Lucas' speed, but that's what a 42-19 victory does in Landover. We needed that, right?
Well, also that was a brilliant game plan by Cliff. Because we talked about it during our pregame, and a lot of people were bringing us up, so it wasn't just unique to Dom and Pop. But we said, look, I think we need to switch it up, and maybe we need to pass first to set up the run. And I think we actually did that, right? You wouldn't look at the stats of this game and the final result and think that way, but you think the Titans were playing too deep, and then they kind of had to switch and load the box a bit more. So I thought it was a brilliant game plan by Cliff. And I'm just having number 5. I mean, even in those points where I agree those beads of sweat were forming in the second half, and people were panicking, including in this house for sure. The thought that went through my mind is we got number 5.
Yeah.
And that's, I just don't think he's going to go the rest of the second half without leading us on some scoring drives. And, he didn't have to do all that much because of how great the running game was. But, just a big one. We had to have it. We had to have it. Yep. And, this morning and through the weekend, as long weekend waiting for the game to happen, I just kept thinking, man, how good would 8-5 look? And to do it in dominant fashion is great. And, sets up really nice for the rest of the year. And, I think that, we were all kind of hitting the panic button after 3 losses in a row. You got to look at the circumstances and the context. But Dan Quinn said it. It's all still right out in front of us. It's all right out in front of us. And we've set ourselves up so well now. We get to relax on a bye week. I'm going to a Christmas fair next Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Right? So
just kind of casually check the fantasy football scores every 30, 40 minutes and just keep it chill.
It's going to be tough with the bye.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough with the bye. No Lamar, and then I got a lot of Commanders on my team, Terry.
Ruh-roh.
It'll be a tough week. I got to get this one this week. But, just great. It's fun.
Yeah. It's just, this is exactly what you needed. And I said to myself this morning, I didn't say it out loud. I didn't tweet it. I just thought it in my head. I was like, you know what? 40 would be really, I said, we're due for one of these just Commanders blowouts. And there's nothing better. I mean, it's a stupid sentence to say there would be nothing better than winning in blowout fashion today. But just in terms of what we needed, there would just be nothing better. And you don't love the 19 points. You don't love the coverage busts that you continue to see. But I raise you number 23. We'll be back after this bye week. And any talk of, I was talking
That's
to Pop
huge.
earlier in the week, and I was saying, hey, you might not see Lattimore this year if you lose this game. Kind of just conjecture, just rumor milling on my end, right? Just thinking about stuff. Maybe letting my anxiety about the team get the best of me there. But you see this win today, Lattimore coming back, you say, all right, the agenda of let's get to the playoffs and let's win a game is still alive and well. And I think it's you heard there's a great clip of Terry running off the field and at the end of the game with Brian Mitchell, and he's yelling at him, he's going, it's early, it's early, it's early. And you see that's kind of the mindset.
That's today?
Like there's a lot of that's today right after the game. There's a lot of football left to be played, and today's win makes you feel pretty good about that football that is left to be played for this team. So very very exciting stuff.
The key is you got to, and I think the bye week affords us this. You got to treat every game like a must win at this point. So that Saints game is all that matters.
Yep.
After they get a week off, they should forget about football. They should enjoy it. When they get back, all that matters is taking care of business against the Saints. And then you set yourself up for an opportunity for a really good rematch opportunity against the Eagles. We're going to be big dogs. That's great at home. Can't wait. But first and foremost, after this one, celebrate this one. Enjoy it. Take your time off. Get healed. But it's all about the Saints. It's all about the Saints.
Yeah, and we hit that little midseason slump right around where most teams get their bye week. We had to battle through some stuff, but you figure we'll be coming out of that bye week. I mean, short of like Austin Eckler and Jonathan Allen, these guys that are dealing with season enders, will be coming off that bye week pretty much 100% healthy. You got a guy like Juan Martin that's a little nicked up. He should be good. You should have Wiley back. It's exciting. It's good to get healthy at this time of the year. I will say that when most teams across the league are banged up. So
yeah, Eck is a big loss. I was super disappointed to see him go on IR. But it's great that we've got the level of depth that we have at running back. I don't know that we got a pass receiver at running back at this point, but we do have got some depth, and I think you've got to consider. And he could be back. I mean, I think he's still eligible the last 2 weeks of the season. I'm not sure I got that math right, but I'm not sure if the bye week counts as a week or not.
It does. Yeah.
So, he could be back. But, I agree. The healthy thing and getting Lattimore out there, being healthy on the offensive line, especially after this rest week, is big. I think it sets us up well. And, at the end of the day, you always, when we were losing, you kept saying, you'd take 7-3 at this time. You'd take 7-4. You'd take 7-5. Really, I think being 8-5 going into the bye week, it just puts us in such a great position. And especially in year one of this situation. And we got number 5, man. We got number 5. How can you not be happy?
I mean, just for perspective, right? Everybody in the offseason wanted to say that Kurt Benkart, I know, was the one leading the charge. But everybody in the offseason wanted to say the Commanders are the new Texans. The Texans backed into 9 wins against the Gardner Minshew-led Colts, who threw a pick 6 or something at the end of the last game of the year. This is a different, you're 8-5 going into the bye. It's a completely different situation compared to what was one of the most incredible turnarounds and great rookie quarterback seasons that we've ever seen. And not to take anything away from them, but just to put some perspective into where we are right now, especially coming off that 3-game slide. I mean, hell, we're on here 2 weeks ago talking about, did Cliff lose it and did Jaden hit the rookie wall? And all of a sudden we weren't saying that, but definitely nationally, that's the topics, and now all of a sudden we're back to going to the Super Bowl. So I guess there is a little bit of evening things out that will
Well,
have
and you
to be done
see,
over the next couple weeks. But
the encouraging thing is you saw the adjustments out of Cliff, right? You saw him move
yes,
Terry around. Now, you could argue why it take the week 13 for that to happen.
who
And
cares?
obviously, the offense was super successful. But moving Terry around, coming out in attack mode, all those things that we did, which were excellent, and I think it put us in position to really dominate in terms of the run game, and I think that was awesome to see.
Yep. Yeah, him just hitting that first play of the game is a pass to Terry McLaurin lined up on the right side of the field, quick out for a first down or for like 8 or 9 yards. And I think that immediately was Cliff being like, "Here you go. I moved Terry around. You score a touchdown when you put Terry McLaurin in the slot." Terry was getting moved around. He was playing in all three positions, getting the ball. Just keep doing it, man. It shouldn't take us getting to where we're getting to, but keep doing it. You saw a lot of tempo today as well, which I loved. I think there was some hesitance whether or not he'll say it out loud, whether or not that was what he was instructed to do, whether or not he was even conscious of it. There was some hesitance with the Daniels injury and with the injuries on the offensive line as well to call the game the way he'd been calling it. Jaden had some sick runs today, especially on those quarterback powers, and just did a fantastic job of protecting himself overall. He took that one sack on the shovel pass that was maybe a little unnecessary to go for a shovel pass there at that point in the game. But all in all, just a great everything clicked today, and I want to give Cliff his flowers because I was on here hypercritical of him. I've been losing sleep over the Cliff. I'll admit it. I'm willing to. I know a lot of you have been too, and you're going to say you weren't fazed by it. I was worried about it, but I got to give look right in the camera. I got to give Cliff Kingsbury a lot of credit. You did it today. You shut us all up. Thank you. Rooting for you. Please don't leave us for the Chicago Bears.
I love that. No doubt. And the thing is, like, I said it to you, and we'll get into this. We got plenty of time. We got a bye week, so we'll do our mid-season report card stuff. But
that's going to be fun.
I really think Jaden's injury was the biggest impact. Everything going on. That's my view of things because you could just see the difference with him being healthy, and he was.
Yep.
You saw some of that last week. Just was a dud all around, but you can just see the difference with him being healthy. But look, I think we should do some awards because I like what I'm seeing out of the Ravens right now and the Eagles. So we could get our popcorn out and relax
for sure.
And watch a game, and for once, root for the Ravens.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's hard.
If today's game gone differently, it might have just been a Ravens hate watch. I'll admit I'm not perfect. I still got some hate in my heart I got to resolve. But with today's game going the way it did and things changing the way they're changing, you hope maybe the Ravens can kind of kick the Eagles into a little 2-3 game skid, and now they're coming in desperate to save their season against Washington. Let's get into the awards so that we can go do that. Without a doubt, Sauce Award today, Jaden Daniels in his return, 25 of 30 for 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 114.7 passer rating. Even that interception, look, good things do not happen when you are high and late over the middle. Good things.
It was a bad throw.
But you got to hope that your veteran tight end in Zach Ertz, who made up for it, I want to give him credit, made up for it on the next drive. You got to hope that he doesn't volleyball set the ball directly into the air for somebody to get it with, but whatever.
I think it was more the throw than anything else on that.
I'll give you 60-40 throw.
Yeah.
But 9 for 34 rushing, sick rushing touchdown. That rushing touchdown was awesome. They thought they had him, put a couple guys on skates, got across the goal line, protected himself. Just exactly what you'd want to see out of Jaden. Really great vision on that run. Not that you've ever doubted how good his vision is in the open field, but just phenomenal. The kid is so talented, man. He's a cheat code. There's not enough good things. Not enough good things. Now, I want a petition here. I want a petition for a co-sauce for Terry McLaurin. I know you got him as a helmet sticker. I know we've said a few times, sometimes Jaden Daniels makes a sauce award a little bit not so diplomatic because he gets it every week. How do you feel about giving Terry McLaurin a Co-Sauce Award today, Pop?
Do you think I'm
Can we
going to
throw
argue
that in there?
That's my favorite player on the team, my favorite
All right,
player in the last decade or plus. Like, and no argument from me.
Because I think he brought an incredible spark in the first half, getting him involved, getting those balls, getting those 2 touchdowns in the first half. I believe both of his touchdowns were in the first half.
Let me give you a little quiz. How many receptions did Terry have today?
8.
How many times was he thrown the ball?
Also 8. Yeah.
And some of those catches, that catch on the slant, which Jaden threw an absolute heater, that was as hard a catch in a situation like that as you can make. And he just does nothing but do that all the time.
You're talking about the touchdown catch, right?
Yeah, the touchdown catch.
Yeah, and the DB had all 4 of his limbs wrapped around him. I mean, guy was draped all over him. It couldn't have been more interfered with. Obviously, they don't throw the flag as he scores a touchdown, whatever. They don't even bother throwing the flag when it's McLaurin because they know he's going to come down with it. It's going to be a touchdown, so why even throw the flag? But just, I mean, that was filthy. That catch was so good. And it's just, you see the ball go towards him, and you just know he's coming down with it. You just know.
Well, there's that other big first down catch he had when Jaden was rolling out, and was a tough throw. So yeah, he's incredible. He's having a career year. I mean, he's at 900 yards, 9 touchdown catches for the year. B-Rob's having a career year as well. It's just phenomenal, phenomenal. So yeah, no argument. Dual sauce. I could throw a little extra in the pan for both those guys.
For sure. Yeah, we got to give that Co-Sauce Award as well, because he was fantastic. Huge Terry McLaurin guys here on this podcast, cementing himself as a true wide receiver 1 across the NFL. And if we see him continue to be involved the way he's involved today, his numbers could get silly for the rest of the year. So let's hope that's the case. Great stuff from him. Brian Robinson Jr., your next helmet sticker and like a junior sauce. Very close to breaking into that Co-Sauce as well. 16 rushes for 103 yards and a touchdown. Phenomenal.
Dominic says, we got another spot at the table. Sit down.
Yeah,
Eat.
That's what happens when I cook, man. That's what happens when I cook. It's like, please bring somebody else. Invite your brother. Do you know, like, make sure everybody knows they're welcome. It's in the blood, man. I can't help it. Brian Robinson Jr., 16 for 103 and a touchdown. Phenomenal to see him back at 100% today. Certainly,
it's crazy. Like play. After that ankle injury, I mean, he looked as fresh and had as much burst today as we've seen all season.
Yeah. And that's the trade-off of you miss a few games earlier in the year. Once you get to fully healthy, you have a little less tread on the tires at that point in the year than guys who've played all of them. But right behind them, Chris Rodriguez Jr. off the practice squad, 13 rushes for 94 yards and a touchdown, almost all in the second half. I think all in the second half.
I think it was. I didn't have time to look it up, but
yeah.
Not
enough. I mean, we've said it earlier in the pod. Not enough good things to say about him. The last little nugget I'll say, guy gave Marshawn Lattimore his number for free. I mean, for a guy that's a practice squatter, could have easily been a $50,000-$60,000 check that Lattimore wouldn't even thought about. And he gave him his number for free, comes out there wearing the number 36 and just does it, man. Just does it. Nothing but love for Rodriguez. Would love to see him be our RB2 going forward. Just fantastic play from him today, from who I think is a really good football player and a guy that deserves a little more looks. Speaking of really good football players, I think Frankie Louvu is an all-pro. I think he's playing at an all-pro level this year. He is fantastic. A sack, a pass deflected, a tackle for loss, 2 quarterback hits. That's a bad dude, man. That is just a lot of hurries.
A lot of hurries, right? I mean, they don't give you that stat, but he was hurrying with Levis quite a bit. And
well, you see him like, you see he had on the one throw that was the Will Levis completion where he's already around him and he's too far upfield to make a sack. You see he can't reach the football to knock the ball out, but he slammed his shoulder. He hit him in the back of the shoulder as he was throwing it, so it came out weird. Like, it's just those little details and the way he plays through the whistle, and just the guy is just, he plays with his hair on fire. And he has a few, he sees, there's almost moments where I'm like, Frankie, careful. Like, he had Sandra Still and 91 had a guy wrapped up, and Luvu just comes in and knocks all three of them over. Like, it's easy. Mike is there, who I think Sandra Still played a hell of a game today too. Minus that one touchdown. I said we got to strip him for the helmet sticker. It ended up being inconsequential, so I'm willing to at least give him an honorable mention. But the last helmet sticker for today, Bobby Wagner. For his 13th straight season, he gets over 100 tackles. You was getting a little bit of a hard time at the beginning of the year and has just kind of come into exactly what you expected of the guy, if not more. I think he's a fantastic player. I would love to see him retire in burgundy and gold and stay around here for as long as he's willing to keep playing. I love that. What a fantastic signing. What a fantastic guy. Just everything you need. Everything.
Well, and I think one of the reasons I wanted to make sure and recognize Wagner was, the 100 tackles, but also the fact that the leadership he demonstrates, right? Dan Quinn talked about it during the week and again in his post-game presser. Wagner addressed the team, told them how this, they're going through a rough spot, but this is where they got to step up. And, at least Dan Quinn felt like that had a big impact on the group. And he talked about how special it is to have that come from a player rather than a coach. And just you could see how he's respected. Him and number 5 are so close. Him and Jaden are so close. They come from the same area out in LA. So, he deserves it. Deserves recognition for that. Absolutely. We got to bring him back. I think that's a no-brainer. That's going to happen. Yeah.
I would love to see, who knows what his plans are after football, but I would love to see him become like a Ryan Kerrigan-like figure for this team. If Quinn and all the guys are still hanging around when he's done, him and DQ are so close. I'd love to see him hang around at some capacity.
Yeah.
Who knows? The guy is more than earned to go find an island somewhere.
Do whatever he wants.
Never look at a football again. He's more than earned it.
Why isn't he getting an advanced degree from Howard or something?
Something like that. Yeah. Just an all-world player, an all-world person, and just... I tell you what, I don't miss Cody Barton too much, do you? It's just what a change, man. Who thought you'd get 2 linebackers as helmet stickers for the Commanders every week almost? We've never seen that in our time since.
Yeah, I think I want to, if I was going to give a shout out, not a helmet sticker, I'd like to shout out De'Ami Brown. I like what I see from him. I like the toughness. There was the knock on him was the lack of toughness. And that guy just looks the part with his size and his speed and him, getting yards after catch, which really wasn't that big of a thing for him. I like what I see. I like what I'm seeing out of De'Ami. And I liked what I saw out of him today. I thought he made a really good contribution. And then I think you would probably mention Mikey Sanistrol, got burned a little bit in coverage, but got to love him on that strip and how tough he plays. I think he led the team in tackles. Didn't quite get helmet sticker worthy because of some of the coverage issues, but just such a tough kid, such a big contributor.
I still think I don't know what this cornerback class looks like, but if you can draft a young, the Eagles got Quinyon Mitchell around where we'll probably be drafting. If you can draft a young cornerback that you can put on the outside, opposite Lattimore next year and roll Sanders still back inside, I would still prefer to do that. I just don't know if he has that downfield speed that you need out of an outside corner. There's a little bit of a teaching issue going on with these corners, whether or not they seem to kind of be caught in no man's land on whether or not they're going to play for the double move or the go ball. They seem a little lost in that particular area, but other than that, Sanders still, he's at the head of every play. He's a human missile. And he is, ripping the ball out. I mean, I'm watching the game with Morgan, and I'm going, this guy is like a couple inches taller than me. And there's a pile of 4 dudes, and he's in there, being the one ripping out the football. I mean, there's just the amount of heart the kid shows. I think he's a stud. I think he's under-talked about across the NFL, and being asked to do way more than he should be asked to do and delivering at that. So
yeah, for sure.
And nothing but good things to say about Mikey Sanders still. But what else do we got here? We got the kick-hots of the game, I guess, is next. Hard to have a kick-hots of the game.
Did you see what I wrote?
42-19 win, but we are going to throw those 2 missed field goals on the honorable mention kick-hots. It just looks like Gonzalez looks like old Dommy Boy when he's having a bad day on the tee box. The face is just a little open and everything's just drifting right every time he kicks the ball.
They weren't horrible misses, I guess, as misses go, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating because those are such momentum killers, and it makes me nervous the rest of the way. But you kind of said it right. We're grabbing kickers off the street and bringing them in here. I don't know that we can expect
at a certain point, right?
Glad he made all his extra points.
Yeah. Yep. Did make all of his extra points. Didn't make you sweat on that. That's better than we could have said last week. But just wide right on both 47 and 52, I believe.
Yeah.
You're just leaving the face open a little bit, man. You got to shake the hand. You got to go from bending to extending. Shake that hand, rotate the wrist, get right there, close the face, and all of a sudden hit that little draw. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad omen. I was playing a fade on Friday, and I was hitting fairways, so maybe I put the juju on Gonzalez. I usually draw the ball, but who knows?
I'm sure the people 35 minutes into the pod would be fascinated to get a hole by hole.
Hey, if you're 35 minutes into the pod, you should be. You're a real. At this point, if you're listening, you're a real listener. You should care about my golf game. We should be at that. We're family now. If you're at this point in the podcast, but anyways, man, I say we wrap this thing up. It's been a great pod. It's been a great week. It's been a lot of fun. It's going to be, if nothing else, that blowout win just helps us kind of enjoy these next 2 weeks. I mean, can you imagine what the sports radio sounds like for the next couple of weeks and what the vibes are if you lose that game? We're in a much better place now. We get to enjoy these next couple of weeks, enjoy our bye week, going to New Orleans, Marshawn Lattimore revenge game, whoop some culo. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. What do you say we wrap this thing up, Pop?
I agree. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, without further ado, let's wrap this thing up. I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Thank you for another great week, everybody, and hail to the Commanders.
Hail.